Shalom, all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham Yahawashai, Bahasham Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, and salutations to all you sincere Kiam. And let's just read guys this article, an article going into more of the wickedness of Esau, Edom, and more particularly our people's parts in that wickedness. And the title of this article reads, DMV Black LGBTQ lawmakers protest outside Nigerian embassy. Right, so you have Jake, or rather, the so-called Negroes, which are the southern kingdom of our people, the Israelites, as you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. And you have our people, specifically our people that are of the alphabet's alternative lifestyle persuasion, right? Deeply involved in the wickedness of this kingdom, like so many other two-thirds are protesting outside the Nigerian embassy. And the reason why they are doing this protest, and we'll get into that as well. There was an oversight on my part. I should have done a video going into it when it happened, but the spirit just didn't hit me, or maybe I was just too lazy. But that is on me, okay? So reading the article, black, alphabet folks are not a figment of white men's imagination. Gabriel Isvero, the delegate from Maryland's 39th district, told the crowd gathered outside the Nigerian embassy on Tuesday, September 12th. So what you have is that these demons, okay, these moles, they are protesting outside of the Nigerian embassy for justice. Imagine that the few times that justice is actually performed, not even to its full extent, but rather just, to a certain level, it is protested against in this kingdom. Let's continue reading. Isvero, along with individuals from the DC City Council, Prince George's County Council, and the National Black Justice Coalition, protested outside the Nigerian embassy to demand the release of approximately 67 individuals arrested for attending a same-sex wedding in Warri, a city in the Delta State in southern Nigeria. And what you have is these underground, same-sex wedding ceremonies happening in Nigeria. And this is not even a matter of race. It's not even a surprise or something that is rare, okay? If everybody in Nigeria knows where you go to if you want to find the most. Everybody in Nigeria knows where you go to if you want to find the homosexual and people involved in that kind of lifestyle, and they exist all over Nigeria, and you have majority of them. You have some of examples of them being guys like Bobrisky, and I've forgotten the other one's name. But you have people like that are into this alternative lifestyle. But for the most part, you see these actions, the alphabet's alternative lifestyle is wicked, okay? And this isn't just from a scriptural standpoint, which of course is the only standpoint that we need, but no matter where you go in the world, and this is the thing about Esau, Edom, and them pushing this wickedness, majority of the world, majority of this planet does not accept, this alternative lifestyle, man. Sure, you might have some parts of it's mainly just the US and Europe. And even in Europe, every time you have a pride parade, every time that pride month, which is June, I believe, or July or so, hits, you always have protests going out. People are protesting, this wickedness in different parts of Europe. So this thing is, so no matter how much Esau Edom tries to push it, no matter how much Esau Edom tries to glorify it, this alphabet lifestyle is frowned upon by majority of the world. And you only have a few, but because the rulers of this world, that's really why it is being promoted in this way, because the rulers of this world want it to be pushed on the earth. That's why the scriptures say, let's get that. Here we go. You already know what I'm going to get. Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in a low place. Let's start from there. Folly is set in great dignity. So this is the book of Ecclesiastes 10 verse 6. Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low place. So nobody actually wants this alternative alphabet lifestyle wickedness, because the rulers of this world, which is Esau, Edom, they want to push this on the earth and push this on the people, right? To promote wickedness, degeneracy. That's the only reason why this lifestyle exists, because it's not only is it a wicked lifestyle, not only is it an unhealthy lifestyle, not only is it a degenerate lifestyle, right? That's really all the points I wanted to hit. Unhealthy, wicked, degenerate. That's all Esau Edom pushes on the earth. But that's all Esau Edom pushes on the earth. But let's continue reading. In 2014, the government of Nigeria outlawed same-sex unions, blaming homosexuality on Western colonialism, which is of course the truth, because really, if you really want to go into it, not really just Western, but if you really want to go into it, like I said, only these first world countries, and really only just some European countries and US and Canada really push for this LGB alternative lifestyle shit like that. Majority of the world aren't even dealing with this. And the majority of the world illegalize it, right? Or it's simply just frowned upon. But in majority of the world, you have your Middle Eastern Asian countries, you have your African countries, even in Russia as well, a European country right there. This wickedness is illegalized, from ranging from jail time to actual death. And we already know what the scriptures say about, homosexuality and lying, and this same-sex sexual relations. That's exactly what it is. And even being changing your plumbing, right? And all the other forms of madness that are associated with this alternative alphabet lifestyle. Let's get that. As it is written, if a man lies with another man as he lies with a woman, right? Let's get that. Let's see. Here it is. So this is the book of Leviticus 20, verse 13, and it reads, if a man also lie with mankind as he lieth with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. Right. So, like we always go into this, the alphabet lifestyle, the mole lifestyle, right? Bestiality, even incest, even pedophilia, it's all in the same bracket. Adultery, it's all in the same bracket of fornication. That's why, if you go into this precepts, it talks about incest, it goes into bestiality as well, it goes into, the alphabet lifestyle as well, because it's all in the same bracket of carnal fornication, rather physical, or rather, sorry, not fornication, but adultery. Okay, okay, now continuing on. A similar mass arrest occurred in 2020 when 47 men were charged with public displays of affection with members of the same sex, the New York Times reported. This case was later dropped. In both instances, homosexuality was demonized as a Western import. And of course it is. This is like I always go into. This is the fruits of Babylon the Great. This is what Babylon the Great pushes on the earth. If you go into the logistics, they'll tell you that America, the US, does not export any goods. Well, of course, because they don't export goods, rather what they export is doctrines, philosophies, and wine. And this is one of the, this is the largest export of America, Babylon the Great. This alternative alphabet lifestyle, pushing adultery and all forms of other wickedness on the earth, mainly adultery and fornication. When I talk about fornication, spiritual fornication, idol worship, and adultery. And the reason why you have this alphabet lifestyle being pushed so heavily on the earth is because, well, Esau Edom has already pushed the the spiritual fornication in the form of Christianity, in the form of Islam, in the form of Judaism, and in the form of all the other idol religions that are out there. Have you ever noticed that Esau Edom will promote Hinduism? Esau Edom will promote Buddhism. Esau Edom will promote all the isms and the Eastern all the isms and the Easterns and all the various forms of religious worship, which is why you have freedom of religion and things like that. But when it comes to the Hebrew Israelites knowledge, when it comes to this truth, no single Edomite, you don't see any single Edomite promoting it, right? Even the black unconscious, even Kemet is being promoted by these devils. But when it comes to, that's why you see Vocab having such good relationships with guys like Sanetta. When it comes to this truth, you never see it being promoted and pushed anywhere, because the spiritual fornication, Esau Edom has already, given the whole world to drink of that wine. Now, the one that is remaining for him to push on the earth is this adultery right here. Because you have, as it's already written, the majority of the earth, they already know what, to an extent, what a man, they already know to an extent, what is right and what isn't, especially in terms of, relations between men and women, or how humans interact, how humans relate, right? And they know that this form of relations, okay, this alphabet lifestyle is wicked. They know, the basic biology and the science concerning it. That's why you have Esau Edom, trying to push this in different African nations. And this is all a part of it as well, all right? Because it wouldn't surprise me if, Esau Edom had his hand in this situation somehow, where he's trying to promote, this same-sex relations in Nigeria. You hear about some rumors about, an Edomite priest officiating the wedding ceremony, that kind of thing. Now, I actually done a video on this when it first happened, but you have to bear with me about that. The spirit just wasn't on me. The spirit just hit me to do a video on it. But let's continue reading. We cannot copy the Western world because we do not have the same culture. Bright Edafe, a police spokesperson in Nigeria, said at a news conference where the arrested were paraded in front of the media, reported the Times. And it's funny that here in Nigeria, this guy, of course, is a Jake, He, it's funny that he would say that we cannot, copy the West, which really is Esau, Edom, and their culture, but every other aspect except for this is Western. The idea of the police that he is in, right? The government, all the systems that are set up here in Nigeria are all emulating the West, specifically emulating both the US and Great Britain, both Babylon and Great Britain, Of course, Great Britain has Saka. That was Great Britain, but the UK, okay, that was the slip of tongue, but that was the heart. Babylon and Britain and the UK. Of course, the UK has more influence than Babylon the Great, but you get the point. You are still, colonized by Esau Edom. And of course, this is this is of course the one of the few times that the right thing is being done in this kingdom. Okay, and of course, it's being seen as wicked, right? It's being demonized. One of the few times when the right thing is being done, when you have these moves being put in prison, right? Being penalized for their wicked actions, which of course to the to the wicked of this world, the Israelism, they're trying to push it and frame it as though your freedom, your rights are being trampled upon. You are being oppressed because over here in Nigeria, over there in Nigeria, the alphabet lifestyle isn't accepted, or in different parts of the world where you are not, if you are in Babylon the Great, of course, the alphabet lifestyle isn't accepted, and they have to accept it. Why are you pushing these ideologies on all these? Why is Esau pushing all these ideologies to take over because he wants to really, he's targeting our people in order to try and push as much wickedness on our people as possible, so that, let's get that, woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink that he might look upon his nakedness. But really, the precept I actually wanted to get is this right here: the accuser of the brethren. Let's get that. So this is the book of Revelation 12, verse 10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power and the power of his Hamashiach. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night. Right. So he is trying to, push wickedness on our people so that he can accuse and, so that he can make our people out to be the wicked of the earth, so I can push the face of the Israelites, the face of the Negro, the face of the Latino, the face of the so-called Native American Indian as the face of wickedness on the earth. So that when he pushes this wickedness on our people, and our people wholly accept it, because you have to remember, Jake is not the wicked, okay? Let's get that. So this is, let's get that, let's see, where is it? So this is the book of Jeremiah 10, verse 16. The portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. Yahweh of hosts is his name. Right? Second, that's not the place I want to get. I want to get the righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduceth him. Right? Because our people are not the wicked, but they are the righteous, which is why the scriptures would say, and the righteous is more excellent. Right? Let me get that. But you have to tell our people that are falling for this snare. So this is the book of Proverbs 12, verse 26. The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduceth them. And like I said, you have two-thirds of our people falling for this snare, being seduced, and then Esau uses them to push to the whole world to make it seem as though, it's these Israelites that are the problem. It's you Jakes that are the issue, right? Even though it's only really just, even though Esau Edom does far more wickedness on a far larger scale, but by pushing our people at the forefront of said wickedness, he can hide his own wickedness from the people and use Jake as a byword and a proverb and attach all the wickedness that goes on the earth to our people. That's how you have Esau Edom getting away with even greater, even greater sins, even greater forms of wickedness and oppression against the people of the earth. So this is the book of Romans 1, and I'll close out with this. Romans 1, verse 24. Wherefore the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai also give them up to uncleanliness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves, who changed the truth of the Most High into a lie, and worshipped and served the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. For this cause the Most High gave them up unto vile affections, for even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature, and likewise also men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burnt in their lust one toward another, men with men working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves the recompense of their error which was meet. And that's exactly what you have with these most that are trying to do marriage, and even with the men that go as far as to change their plumbing to try to look as much as of a woman as possible. And you niggas out there, and you niggas and degenerates out there that actually go as far as to lie with these people, man. Anyway, we talk about individual right there. You already know what it is. You already know, what we have to say and what the scriptures also has to say about the alternative alphabet lifestyle. So with that, I'll end the video right here. All praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh. Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Rakak, Wadash, Wa Abad Babal, and through the Spirit help you, Akyam, and you are quite edified. Shalom.